Okay, so hi Penelope.
Hi, Amit. Hello, everybody. Hello.
We just finished watching the movie. Can you hear us? Okay. Okay, so first, can you tell us how did you get involved in this movie? Were you a part of the punk scene?
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but yes, I was very much involved in the punk scene in the late 70s and went to all the clubs and I was friends with most of the bands, that played back then. And I thought it was an important movement to document. So that's why I shot it. You're going to make a punk rock movie too, right, Amit?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But we'll talk about me later if you want.
Okay.
Are you still in touch with those guys?
Sorry, it's hard to, the echo is
Now can you hear?
a little better, yeah.
Are you still in touch with the people in those bands?
Am I still friends with them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Most of them, yeah. I mean, the guys in the X movie or the X band, they don't like me too much because, well, they're punks. They're not supposed to like anything, and they don't like me too much because I used the audience of some other band to put on their music, so they don't like me. So they don't talk to me, but I don't care. And and then, of course, some of them are no longer with us. But yeah, I'm really good friends with Keith Morris and Lee Ding, and Keith from the Circle Jerks and Lee from Fear. And yeah, so.
You still go? You still go to punk shows?
No, I'm too old. I could go. You know what? It's weird. I mean, the people my age, and whenever they have the punk shows, they all go still. But I don't know. For me, I feel like I evolved into something else. I don't even listen to music anymore. I mean, if I'm going to listen to music, I'm going to listen to Zen meditation music and go to sleep, but I don't listen to popular music really anymore. I spent a whole life doing it. And I said to my boyfriend, how come we don't go to concerts anymore? And we filmed the Ozfest in 1999. We went to 30 cities and filmed all these bands with Black Sabbath and Slayer and Primus and Slipknot and all these bands. And you had enough of it, And so he said, that's why we don't go anymore. And I think he's right.
You were doing a movie about Ozfest, right?
Yes, we filmed, I worked on that movie, for 3 years. And unfortunately, Sharon Osbourne, she was the producer on it, and she said that she had the music rights, but she didn't have them. And I didn't stop to check, Sharon Osbourne is like the word of God, you don't question it. So I didn't question it, and I really regret it because we couldn't release the movie, unfortunately. But it's on the internet, like it's all bootlegged. So if you ever want to see it, it's pretty good for all you headbangers out there.
So your career is very interesting because you made some fringe documentaries, and then you moved on to do some mainstream cinema with Wayne's World, of course, and Black Sheep and Little Rascals. Can you tell us about how you managed to move back and forth from those two industries?
Well, it is a very different world, that's for sure. I must say I enjoy the independent world. I enjoy the documentaries much better than I did the studio work. It's just too many people, you know, that don't know what they're doing, telling you how to make a movie. Please excuse me, I'm so sorry. I got a new phone. Okay, she's on. I hate you. I hate you. Okay. My assistant's supposed to be answering this. Leave me alone. You know, it's those telemarketers. I got a special phone and it still doesn't work. I hate them. One time I picked the phone up and I said, why don't you get a real job? And it turned out it was a social worker. I felt so bad. I had a foster child and they were calling about the foster child. Why don't you get a real job? Oh my God, I'm crazy. Okay. What did you ask me? I'm sorry, Amit.
About you working in independent field and
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't like working in the Hollywood system, to be honest with you. I mean, I like the money. That was fine back then, but you know, I was poor my whole life. So all of a sudden, when they pay me $1 million to direct a movie, I was like, oh my God, I can make this kind of money. Geez, I never imagined, you know. But it's not even worth it, to be honest with you, you know. I wish I could have done the movies I really loved and the movies I wrote, but I could never do my own movies. I always had to, you know, do movies that the studios wanted to, but they paid me so much, I couldn't say no, you know.
There's the movie, The Little Restless. You wrote this movie. It's a children's movie, right?
Yeah, I wrote it. Steven Spielberg was going to be the producer on it, but he said he didn't want to because, yeah, I don't know why. He didn't want to do it. And then so I wrote the script, and then Universal gave Steven the script. And after he read it, I was very flattered because he wanted to do the movie then. And I said, why do I have to have Steven Spielberg? I don't get it. You know, I already wrote the script. Let's just make the movie. And they said, because if you got Steven Spielberg's name on there, everybody, all the little kids are going to come and see it, and it means so much more. And they were right, you know. And Steven was lovely to work with. He really was. He was a great guy. He wasn't like all those other assholes that I had to work for. I mean, you know, I worked for the Weinsteins, okay? And that was no fun. But generally, yeah, my experience is that I like the independent movies better. Yeah.
What about Wayne's World? I mean, you probably got it after doing Decline Part 2, right?
Yeah, I did Wayne's World after the Metal Years, which is the Decline Part 2, because, you know, Wayne and Garth, they think they're headbangers, but they're not. They're just squares, you know. and I think that's what makes them funny. But yeah, they're good guys, you know. They've been selling out a lot lately with product placements. If you saw the movie, there's a whole scene with product placement, and now they are the signature stars for Uber Eats. And but you know, everybody's got to make a living, so what can I say?
So you didn't want to do Wayne's World 2, I guess, right?
Who, me? Yeah, I did. I want to do Wayne's World 2. I mean, of course I did, you know. I mean, I was excited to do it, and then Wayne, Mike wanted me to change a lot of the first Wayne's World because he didn't see it with a beautiful audience we had that loved it so much. They gave it the scores in the 90s, you know. And Mike, unfortunately, wasn't there for that, so he didn't see it. And then he wanted me to change a lot of it, and I said no. And so the studio says, if you don't change it, you're not going to be able to do Wayne's World 2. And I said, oh God, that's a hard decision. But I said, no, I'm not going to change it. I stood my ground. And then they did Wayne's World 2 without me. I cried for 2 weeks. I sat in my house and I cried. I pulled all the phones out of the wall. Phones used to be in the wall. I pulled them all out of the wall. and I just cried. And then the movie bombed, and I laughed.
Okay, now a question. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but is there going to be a fourth movie?
Ah, you bad boy, you. Amit is a little bad boy. Okay, so I am going to do The Decline 4, and it's about a subject that I'm not allowed to mention because everybody has an iPhone. They can go do that movie, you know, and you can't copyright a title, so they could use the title. Don't do it, you guys, please. I'm working on it. You see right back there? It's in that computer right there. I started shooting it already, and I got a little sidetracked because I started building houses, and so I built 2.5 houses, and yeah, my name in Greek is Spheeris. It means hammer. So I think my ancestors were good at building houses. You know, I'm related to Costa Gavras. Did you know that? Yeah, Costa is my first cousin. Yeah. Yeah, but he doesn't build houses. He makes movies. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody in the audience want to ask a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah.
This is Barak.
Hello.
Hi. It's on a heavier subject, but like about the times when you did the movie, The Decline. So from my understanding, the scene back then was in a way like very sexist, but also feminist in a way. And I wanted to ask if when you did the film, did you experience a lot of I don't know, sexism towards you, you know, in any way?
Well, that's a good question, and thank you for asking it. You know, the great thing about punk rock was that all of a sudden, the way women dressed and portrayed themselves and acted it changed, you know. All of a sudden, it wasn't like, you know, Barbie doll time. It was, you know, girls shaved their head and they wore combat boots and they didn't take any shit off anybody. And so that was the great moment for women back then. And I felt very liberated. And I think the more sexist time was when I did The Decline Part 2, the metal years. You know, those headbanger guys, forget about it, you know. All they want to do is marry strippers and you know, have 6 girlfriends, all under the age of 18 or whatever. But you know, Guns N' Roses is back on the road right now, so we have to thank the strippers because she took all the money from the Splash, and so now they have to go back on the road and make some money. So, you know, thank God. Thank God for strippers. Yay. Guns N' Roses is back on the road. Bum, bum, bum.
Any other questions? Dana, you want to ask something?
I'm thinking. I want to know what the cat's name.
Oh, my cat?
Yeah.
Which cat is here?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that one? Oh, you want to know his name? You're going to laugh. That one on the chair, that one is Louis. And he shits everywhere. So I call him King Louis, King Louis the Turd. And then I have another cat, Gringo. He's over there somewhere. And then that one right there is Minka, the dog. That's a dog, not a cat. Yeah. But thank you for asking. They're the star of the movie, you know?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks. Listen, I have a dozen questions, but I'll ask three and you can answer whatever you're interested in answering. One thing I wanted to ask is when the Sex Pistols played in San Francisco in '78, right? So did you or the people in the film go to that concert? Was it a big deal or was it something, I mean, because it seems like a lot of those bands were fans of the English punk bands.
Well, I'm not really getting that because the echoing. So tell me that question again, a little more
I
clear.
was asking if you or any of the other people in your film at the time went to see the Pistols in '78 when they played San Francisco.
Oh, the Pistols in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, I everybody thinks I was there, and people always ask me about it, but I have to say regretfully that I was not there. I remember when it happened for sure. It was the beginning of the end of the Pistols, that's for sure. But I hung around with John Lydon for quite a few years, a little while back, because we were talking about making a movie together. But I'll be honest with you, he's kind of an asshole. And he's,
We know.
did you know that? He sort of started believing his own bullshit, It's like, oh, we're supposed to hate everything and we're supposed to be assholes and we're supposed to bring down the world and blah, 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 blah. Well, he turned into that asshole, Anyway, I didn't see the Pistols back then. I wish I had, but the Bollocks album really is what changed my thinking about music. Because before that, it was all, the radio was Doobie Brothers and disco, and I don't like either one, honestly. Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know how to disco dance. I don't know how to dance at all.
I have another question. I remember reading about, for example, like early punk bands from Washington, DC, for example.
Yeah.
Who were very critical of the LA scene for being very violent.
Right.
I mean, do you remember this kind of?
Well, there was, yeah.
Kind of...
Yeah, there was Bad Brains from DC, and then Henry Rollins was in a band back then. But it's got that same sort of vibe as the gang territorial thing. I don't know. I always felt it to be silly because there were so few punks at that time. They should have been united, not criticizing each other, But I mean, even here in Los Angeles, people argue, where did punk start in Los Angeles? Well, to me, it started in Hermosa Beach with Black Flag playing in a park one afternoon. And, but then there's other people that argue that it started other places, But honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, it accomplished, I believe, at that time, what it set out to accomplish, which was to break down the traditions and the mainstream and the establishment. And, we're talking the Reagan era here. And so it did a lot of good on a lot of different levels, political, social, just, it changed the way it changed fashion, and it changed music. So it served its purpose here. Yeah.
Okay, my last question, I swear. It's a similar question. I'm just curious, did it, at the time, did it matter where a band came from? Like in the West Coast, did it matter if the band was from, a certain part of LA or a different part of LA or from San Francisco or from Berkeley? I mean, what did it mean? And I mean, was there camaraderie between bands from different parts of the West Coast, or was there animosity between those areas? Or
It has to do, I think, you know, it has to do with the same subject as the last question, which is that territorial thing, right? You know, and like I said, I think punk should unite, and since then they have. Doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you understand the principles of punk rock and live it. You know, I remember being in Torino, Italy, a few years back, and some punk kid. I can tell the difference because there's a lot of posers, you know. But this real punk kid came up to me and said, "Penelope, would you like to go to the castle, the punk castle?" And I'm like, how could I say no to that? So they take me to this beautiful, I don't know, medieval castle. You got to crawl through a tunnel to get to it. And inside, they had the most amazing collection of everything punk. They had a library with, you know, all the books, all the DVDs, you know, everything that was clothes related to punk. And they were very, I don't know, democratic about their punk rock dumb. And so that's the way I think it should be, you know. We shouldn't go against each other. If you believe in the philosophy of punk rock, then you live it and you love the people that do it as well. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Is it true that you were offered to direct this Spinal Tap?
Well, that's a technical, subjective kind of asked to direct. Listen, what happened was I got a call from a guy named David Jablin, and David said, "Come down and meet with Harry Shearer and Chris Guest, and let's talk about you directing Spinal Tap." And I went there. We sat down, we talked about it. They gave me the basic premise of it. And I said, you know, guys, I don't think I can make fun of heavy metal music because I love it so much. And so then Rob, actually, Reiner was a friend of mine, him and Penny Marshall, when they were married, we used to hang out together. And they got Rob to direct it, and obviously he did a fantastic job. He probably did a better job than I would have done. Do I regret walking away from it? Yeah, that was pretty stupid.
You could probably direct the Princess Bride later or something.
What?
You could probably direct the Princess Bride after that.
Wow. No, we got our different styles. You know, the thing about Rob is he's really a square, and and his father pissed me off really bad one time because he introduced me at a Directors Guild thing, and he made fun of the title of The Decline of Western Civilization, and he embarrassed me when I had to go on stage, and he was making fun of the title of my movie. But anyway, it ended up in the National Film Registry a couple years ago here, you know, in the Library of Congress in the United States. So I got the last laugh on that one.
Okay, if there's not any other questions, I would like to thank you for joining us.
Actually,
What did he say?
There's another question.
I do have another question.
Hello.
Hi, it's me with the cat. I was wondering why dead Kennedys don't appear or aren't mentioned. Is it something about the timeline because they only started like a tad bit later after the footage?
They're from San
They're
Francisco.
San Francisco, I know, but it's pretty close to LA. Maybe they played in LA, and there was Fear said that they were from San Francisco, so it's not that far-fetched. Was it like not around at all at that time, or?
Well,
It's because of my favorite.
fact, I don't know the exact date of that San Francisco show. We could certainly Google it, but the fact of the matter is, when I was shooting The Decline, we didn't have any money, you know, and we certainly didn't have money for airfare, so I couldn't go up there and shoot. And besides that, if you examine the 3 Decline movies, they're all set in Los Angeles. And a lot of that is a function of budget, you know. I mean, do I wish I would have filmed that, you know, performance of the Pistols, the last performance, I believe? Of course I do.
She was asking about the Dead Kennedys.
About what?
Dead Kennedys.
Net Candies?
Dead Kennedys. The band Dead Kennedys.
Oh, Dead Kennedys. Oh, well, they're not a LA band either.
I figured maybe, you know, it was close enough. Maybe they came to LA or played there around.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of bands in LA that I wish I would have shot, you know, like the Weirdos and the Plugs and the Gears and the, I mean, Screamers. There's a lot of LA bands that were very, very innovative that I wish I would have shot, but you know, I had to shoot when I had the equipment. Like, I don't even think Catholic Discipline is a punk rock band. I don't think X is a punk rock band, to be honest with you. I think they're an artsy fartsy band, you know. You guys all speak such good English. I'm sorry I don't speak Hebrew. This is everybody speaks English here. I don't get it. I'm coming over soon. But yeah, I mean, I wish I would have been able to shoot. But I'm glad that I shot the bands that I did when I did them, because nobody else was shooting back then. And I had friends like James Brooks, for example, who ultimately took a job I was offered again, which is The Simpsons. And I know, I turned that one down. I turned that one down too. Yeah, I turned down Legally Blonde. I turned down George of the Jungle. I could have been 10 times richer, you know? But anyway, what were we talking about? Shit, I forgot. Oh, the Kennedys. Yeah, well, I was trying to focus on the bands down here, you know. Plus, Jello is, back then anyway, wasn't that easy to get along with. You know, he was. Uh-oh, somebody's coming in my house. Get out of here. Go away. Go away. God. I'm doing an interview.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus Christ. You thought it was a zombie? It was my boyfriend. I met him on Decline Part 3. He's a punk rocker. We've been together for 25 years. Yeah, 25 years with the same old fucking punk rocker. Anyway, it's been a good 25 years. So yeah, the Kennedys, that would have been cool. But, you know, we didn't have the money to travel around and shoot. So I just had to take what I could get. And I'm glad I did what I did, because like I said, nobody else was shooting, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Any other questions? Or
Can you hear me from over here? Can you hear me? Should I get closer?
come closer. Just a second.
Hi.
Hi.
I was interested in the subject of the need to provoke as a documentarist. Did you need it all to provoke your subjects on this film or in any other of your films?
Did I do what with the subjects?
To provoke them, to get a reaction from them when they do something.
You know what?
Nice.
Here's my rule for interviewing my subjects in the documentaries, and I got this from one of my idols, Frederick Weissman, if you know who he is. Okay, Frederick Weissman puts the camera on and he films, and if you like it, that's fine. Huh?
Fly on the wall.
Yeah. He's fly on the wall. And if you like it, fine. And if you don't like it, fine. He's not trying to impose his opinion on you. Like that guy, what's his name? Roger, what's his name? You know who I mean? The one that did the...
Roger Moore.
Moore.
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, not Roger Moore. That's fucking Bond. James Bond. No, but Michael Moore makes a movie and he wants you to believe everything that he believes. Well, I'm not God, you know. He's not God, but you believe whatever you want to believe. And as a film director, I want to turn the camera on, show you what I see, ask provoking questions sometimes, but most of the time, it's really what I want to know about the person. It's very personal for me. I want to know, you know, did your mother beat the shit out of you when you were a little kid? Is that why you're a punk rocker? You know, are you a punk rocker because you were raised in Beverly Hills and you hate all that money shit? You know, why are you a punk? And so I ask questions that I want to know the answer to, really. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
She's a lovely girl.
Any other questions before we finish? Okay, so thank you very much, Penelope.
I thank you. Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you. I've never been, this is the closest I've come to being in Jerusalem. I'm so excited.
We're in Tel Aviv, but
oh, are you in Tel Aviv?
Yeah, it's different territories. Like,
I thought you said the film festival was in Jerusalem. No.
No, there's a film festival in Jerusalem, but this is the Tel Aviv Cinematheque.
Tel Aviv. Please excuse me, Tel Aviv.
Don't be disappointed.
Jerusalem is our New York. We hate him.
What did you say?
He said that Jerusalem is our New York, and we hate them.
Oh, well then I screwed up. Okay.
But we would like to see you in Tel Aviv when you do when you finish Line 4, and we can show it here. And
okay, I'm there. I'm there. You have a beautiful theater, and you guys are all really cool. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and stay safe.
Okay. Mwah. I'm done, Ripley.